the power of we was a way of inclusion, a way of inviting anyone who needed or wanted a place to belong.
It was just very clear to me that this was something that would really benefit the young folks right here.
And to be able to give them a different perspective, that I know where they come from, I know what they're experiencing because I was there too, and letting them know that there's different actions that they can take that'll lead to a different destiny.
We really needed to hear that. In order to change our community, we needed to hear that.
And they are inspired to invest in making it happen. That's powerful.
How you doing? Hey, thanks for stopping by. It's Lauren Michaels Harris, and I've got a question or two. The first one is, has it ever felt to you like life has been dragging you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, between hell and back? I know that feeling. What about this? Have you ever felt like you've been punished or are being punished for something in your past? You know, you just can't seem to get past that proverbial bathtub ring, if you will, of pain, fear, or shame. Me too. But listen, there's some hope. It's in something inside my world that I call P3, the Journey Series. It is a tried and true formula that will take you and help you work your way from where you're at to every place in this universe you want to be. It is time to start living on the other side of all those scars. They prove to us that there is healing, but they also are a door, a magic carpet, if you will. Why? Because every single scar comes with a message. Every single scar comes with a voice. Come on and learn how you can find your way inside your own divine purpose. Do yourself a favor. Hit the blue button and join me, won't you, for a 90-minute free preview of P3, the Journey Series. I guarantee you, if you challenge yourself, just challenge yourself this one time, you'll be so happy you did. I promise you. See you inside. Hit the button. Good morning to you. I'm feeling some kind of way today, y'all. It's been a long time since I gave you some of that, right? Well, that's what you get when you come here. What is wrong with me today? I'm happy. That's all it is. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. So there it is. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I mean it. I mean it. Sure do. And listen, even in little things like that, when I say I'm happy and I do all that to get your attention, and then I say, I mean it. Why? I do that to remind you, because I want you to, I know y'all watching. I know you're watching. I can feel your eyes. I can feel your love. And so I want you to know when I do that, it's so that you can be a part of the literal manifestation. Seriously, because the moment you say, the moment you think, the moment you do something that you mean,
that thing becomes meaningful instantly somewhere in this universe. And so I ain't scared. I'm just saying, and I'm excited. So listen, Power We. Oh my goodness, y'all. This is my third one, and I hate using that word scary, but it's just so, I did not expect that, we did the one in Chicago in 18. We did it again in 19, got the award from the United Nations in 19 for our work in Atlanta with those kids down there. And now here we come back after COVID started, but the whole world flipped. All the schools that I went to, I thought I'll just go back to them, boom, boom, boom. Every single person, from the superintendent, the principal, the teachers, the counselors, had flipped. None of the people at none of the schools. The companies that had vendor spaces, either they're out of business or something. Everything has flipped. It's almost worse than starting from scratch, if that makes any sense. But I'm glad I didn't know this when I opened my big mouth and said April 28th, because I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm just saying. But that's that human part of us. See, that's what I love about co-authoring with something greater than myself, because of that. Those paces, those places, those stages, those slabs of the sidewalk of life, if you will, that I look ahead and I go, ooh, I don't know if I want to walk across that little spot. Like I used to have a thing when I was a kid, bridges and stuff with those grates where you could look down and see the ground and stuff through there. Oh, I was scared shitless. I'm a kid that you had to drag. Now you had to drag me on the sidewalk. I couldn't do it because I always thought they were going to fall or something. I don't know what I thought, but that's kind of how it felt. But then something reminded me it is called the power of we, and you didn't think it up, Lauren. It came through you. It didn't come from you. And that's why. So just even when you go back to the title of something, the name of something, that moment when something touched your spirit and became yours, sometimes that's the greatest blessing you could ever ask for, because you go back and you go, you know what? I'm right. That is right. Why should I worry when I know that I'm not the only one working in here? We all are. So having said that, you guys, I want you to know, if you're interested in, I'd love to get the sponsorship package. If you know of a small company, a middle-sized company, a large company, a person that hit the lotto, a person that has whatever, here's how you can help this year. Sponsorship, we have packages. If you like it, let me know. I'll email it to you. If you want to come to the Power of We, you're going to buy a ticket, you're going to come. You just don't want to sit around. You want to volunteer. You want to be there to help us with the kids and that. We've got space for that. I'll connect you with Greta Lachelle Rose, our volunteer coordinator. Vendor spaces. If you have the banners and the tables and the products and the services, vendor spaces in the lower ballroom of the mansion are available. Can hold up to 30 vendor spaces. Comes with the table, the chairs, the power, the linens, everything you need. Also, you can just donate. It's $250 a kid for us to pull this off, and we have 250 kids coming. So there's that, and then also we like it to be where anybody can do anything. We had a group of women from New Hampshire last time. They were all 70 years or older. A book club. They wrote handwritten notes of encouragement. Put them in little envelopes, spray perfume and stuff, just like grannies. It was so cute. And they sent 250 of them. The kids loved it. Absolutely loved it. Whatever you can do. We need things to go in the swag bags. They don't have to be 250 identical bags. So if you have 3 of this or 4 of that, we want it to be things that have a message. A lot of these kids, the world has them on mute. And they look around and, we have them, they study in the hallways of the projects, no power. Mom or whoever is a, fiend or something like that. Who knows? They have so many different situations, so many challenges. So I turned Sprite down the first year. They wanted to write one check for everything, would have paid for everything. But all they wanted to do was get a new soft drink to the hands of urban teenagers and, give them a little cup, one of these things with their name on it, a Frisbee, that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, a Frisbee can't talk to a kid. A Frisbee can't give a soul hug to a kid when they feel nobody sees or hears them. I said, I'll take my chances. I immediately thought I regretted it when I walked out. I was like, what the hell have I just done? But I feel that I did the right thing, because here we still are. And the United Nations said you guys are doing something pretty spectacular. And it wasn't me. It was the video of you all and the kids that we submitted that got that award. So just letting you know, I just had to put that in there today. Makes my spirit feel better. So that's the Bella purpose, y'all. You know, when you hear that, it's a reminder to tune in, lean in, stay in contact with that sound you heard, because just like that bell has a tone to it, so does the truth. And nowadays, you're going to need to know that to navigate where your soul needs to be. So can I get an amen? All right. So another thing, welcome to the show. She's my sidekick. You know her as my version of Ed McMahon. This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. Been here almost 7 years with me. And I just want to take a moment before we get our wonderful guests in here. People, just start sharing it out while I'm chatting. Just do it. Share it out. Trust me. Jes Rich is here. And she is rich in all the ways that matter. Man, she's got a staunch following. And you're going to find out about this. Wait till you hear. So I just want to say, you guys, you know, another thing about living within purpose. The first thing is everything you mean becomes meaningful, but then you every time you do something and it leaves you wanting more, or it leaves the people that you're touching with it wanting more, that's purpose, you know. And I got 2 cards this week. One, thank you from the team. There it is, from Heart of Hollywood, and I think they put it out yesterday. They sent me an 8-minute video of the tour when I went out there, and they took me all around. We're on the front and the back, first time in history. Thank you, greater than, thank you. And thank you all for helping me to get there. But anyway, Giovanna sent this, and she said, keep inspiring the world. Hello, Lauren. I wish you much success, joy, and happiness. Keep shining. And it has been wonderful working with you. This is the publisher of the magazine and also the owner of Heart of Hollywood Motion Pictures. And, you know, you think, oh, she's thanking me when I feel I should be thanking her. But see, it just keeps wanting. That's purpose. It just more, right? And then I had a guest last week, Dr. Skip Mondragon came on. We watched his TED Talk. He has the book, Wrestling is Not for Wimps. And I got this yesterday. I've never gotten just a thank you card. You know, you get books and stuff from your guests, but just a thank you card from Dr. Skip saying, thanks, my friend, for hosting me on Bathrobe Moments. You honor me, sir. Most importantly, however, thank you for providing opportunities for people to address the things that matter to them the most. In my case, depression in men. I appreciate your concern, and you are my brother. Thank you for helping men who are suffering in silence. God bless you, Dr. Skip. And I just want to say, you know, you guys think this stuff is what really does it for me. It's stuff like that. It's really stuff like that. I don't know what it is, but I want more of it. There it is. Purpose. Okay, Jes, I'm not even going to try to read bio. I just want you to experience this woman. Get ready for a powerful 45 minutes. And I hope you took the opportunity, because I asked you to, and you're going to wish you did if you didn't. Watch what happens in this 45 minutes. Get ready. Here we go. Jes Rich, y'all. Y'all ain't ready for this. I don't know if I want to put us like this. I want to go like this.
Perfect.
I want your face. You see, I had just a picture in there first where mine just was behind us. And she had her mouth open, right? And I was sitting right on her tongue. So we had a big laugh about that one. Trust me. Out here. Jes Rich, how are you? Welcome to Bathrobe Moments, first timer. How are you?
I am splendid. This is so fun. I love your show. When I first heard about you, I started watching it. I was like, oh, your purpose, your vision, the power of we, all of that. I love it. I spent years teaching in middle schools, high schools, and universities, and children, young adults. They're so much smarter than the world gives them credit for.
Girl. Oh, from your mouth to the world's ears. There it is on screen. Girl. It's so true. I learned so much from them. I really do. And they want us to listen to them so badly. And you know what? We really better. We better, or else, I'm telling you, the world is slowed down to a near crawl for a reason. So
Absolutely.
so just tell everybody where you're at in the world and give them your backstory a little bit. Why you're doing what you're doing today and what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, how far back do we go?
Back that thing up, girl. Back it up.
I'm going to do this real quick because I was born in 1979. We're going all the way back because my parents were like super excited to have me. They both came from traumatic backgrounds, and they drove to Paradise, California with my mom in labor so she could say that, so I could say that I was born in paradise.
Just
and
like paradise.
Right.
Living.
They loved me. They wanted me, but they were silent about the things that impacted them, that it affected them. And so when things started to happen to me, they weren't able to be aware. And quite frankly, in the 80s, like no one was talking about this stuff yet. And so I started being, I'm just going to go there. I was sexually abused. And then my dad ended up being murdered when I was 10 in a homicide.
Wait. Girl, you just did the Florence Griffith Joyner sprint.
Did I just drop it and drop it and drop it? We're going to keep going.
You're on TV, girl. Don't be no track and field. Go slow. So wait a minute. Did you just say your dad was murdered?
My dad was murdered when I was 10. And it was also, so I was sexually abused by a teen. Teens, and my father was murdered by a teen.
Sorry, I'm literally choked up.
Okay.
How does that come out? So you've done a lot of healing.
20 plus years. And what?
My lip is quivering. Serious, I'm an empath. So I'm just saying, when you say, y'all pay attention. Now, you're a kid and your dad gets murdered. Just think of what kind of world. We're not watching, one of those shows where it's like, at 5 p.m., Mary Louise pulled her car around. You expect people to get murdered on those shows because you're watching it for it. But you don't expect to hear somebody here on Little Bitty Bathrobe Moments saying, oh, and my dad was murdered when I was. So I just want to say thank you right there. And I'm not going to interrupt anymore. But I want people to do it again. Well, it is. But see, the thing is, that's the burden. That's the cross you've had. And look how young you were when it started. And as that kind of a kid too, I just know that I believe that the earlier the trauma starts, the louder the voice is for us before it's all said and done. And so I just want people to tune in because I know you got something that's going to change or save someone's life here today. I feel it. I'm getting the download. I mean that. Somebody is watching or is going to watch that this is going to change or save their life. So you guys tune in, get this out. If something you hear or feel something while Jes is talking today that makes you see someone's face or think about a person like out of the blue, share this with them. You don't need to know why. Just share this with them. Okay, Jes, go ahead. Dad gets murdered at 10.
But here's the thing is that like when I was sexually abused, they were neighbor boys. And so someone was showing them love in the same way they were showing me love.
Hurting people. Right.
And they were teens themselves. Like I was only 4 and 5 and they were 13, 15 and 19. But like a 14-year-old, 13-year-old doesn't wake up one day and go, geez, I'm sick of playing my Atari. I'm going to go screw the girl next door. Like these are learned habits. They get passed from person to person to person, and silence doesn't fix it. We have to talk about it. And so when my dad was murdered, it was a 17-year-old who killed him and then killed himself. And I'm like, a 17-year-old just doesn't wake up one day and go, geez, I'm going to kill a man today. Right? Yeah. We have a problem in society where we have stripped children, we've stripped teens of their power and their intelligence. We need to help them find their voice and find their strength, because and quite frankly, with the internet, Gen Z, they're already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is incredibly powerful. But we as the older people, like I'm a Gen Xer, 42, if we don't help them understand how to navigate the dangers of this world, it will be crazy. It will continue to be even crazier. And so as long as we're not talking about these issues, we're going to continue to have them, and they will get worse. So that's why
You know what I call it? You know what I call it when people are afraid of having those conversations?
Mhm.
I call it's in my space. I look at that for me. This is so that I don't do it. I look at it like a form of human sacrifice, just like people that people on the street sleeping and stuff. It's invisible to them. They're so desensitized to stuff. To me, that's human sacrifice, because
Yes.
you're just willing to sacrifice a human by not even saying it to yourself. Oh, isn't that a shame? Why aren't we doing anything? How do you feel about that?
We have dehumanized almost everyone in society. There's this judgmental. We forgot how to love.
Mm-hmm.
We forgot how to care. We got so worried about being nice, we forgot to be kind.
Can I ask, what made a 17-year-old murder your father?
We don't really know, because there was a whole lot.
What did your world look like? Were you in a trailer? Were you in an apartment? Were you in a 3-family home or a two?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
high level. Where were you?
We were in rural Oregon, so northeastern Oregon, up in the middle of nowhere. It was called Joseph. So small community, and him and the young man were out cutting firewood, and the young man was driving his dad's truck. He ended up rolling the truck. There was alcohol involved, but my dad had actually been clean for the first time in his life for 6 months.
Wow.
And we assume that after the accident, they walked about a mile towards town. He shot my dad, walked about a mile, killed himself.
Why?
They were found 3 days later.
Oh.
It wasn't investigated well at all, because it was the first murder in 10 years. Like, the police report is laughable because they use like CB handles on the police report. Like, they had no clue what they were doing, and their wallets were never found. There's honestly, I don't know if the young man actually killed him.
I was gonna say
probably, yeah. But that's the official report that came out, and so we really don't know. And sometimes that is life.
Okay, right there. So take us to. Okay, bring her up. Hi, I'm talking to little Jes. Jes, yeah. Because the thing, I'm a real champion of going back to those versions of ourselves that got us here. You know, because after my masterclass, I had an experience where I actually went back to the version of me who went through all that first abuse until I got numb to it. The one who kept me in the game, who kept me alive, that didn't listen to the other voices about, you kill yourself. I was thinking that at 11. And so I get it. So take us back to her. This is what I talk to people when I say you go to bed one night as that Jes, you wake up the next day not knowing that you will never go to sleep as that girl again. Because your world, talk about it. Because now you see where it was, that when it set you on a path. You see now, but you didn't know then. What were you thinking as a person?
For months, I sat on the edge of my bed staring out my window at his parking spot. And I was actually pondering this last night.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there because it was winter, watching it snow, just waiting for him to come home.
Mm-hmm.
And he never did. See, the thing was, I was supposed to go with him that day. Mm-hmm. And so I carried guilt and had night terrors. I witnessed his murder for 14 years in my head every single night. And I felt guilt and shame for not going. I hated myself because I should have went. Maybe he wouldn't have been dead, and maybe I would have been dead too.
Mhm.
And either one, but he wouldn't have been drinking had I been there. And I knew that. And I chose to not go with him. And so it took me, the night terrors were something that really got me. But really, those were just the lead up to where the abuse got even more intense, because it sent me, by the time I was 13, my mom got remarried to a man that he was just real domineering, didn't have any kids, didn't know what like raising a child with trauma was like. And I was already really psycho. I was like rebellious teenager, you know, I was doing everything wrong. But yet I was also incredibly athletic. I was like, you know, the captain. Yeah.
Okay, just so we know, because did you tell anybody about the abuse? Because there was so much going on. And are you the only kid in the house? What's that look like?
Yes. I was the only child. And what was the other question?
Did you tell anybody?
Oh, yes. When I was 13, I actually told my mom because I started really losing it.
Okay, but it started at what age?
Well, the sexual abuse only happened from 4 to 5. We moved away.
Okay,
and so,
but did anybody ever know about that?
Not until I was 12, 13, and I told my mom.
Okay, that's a big piece. Carried it as a child. That's like dragging a refrigerator.
No, well, hold on. I didn't know it was wrong. It wasn't until I was like 10 or 11. The sexual abuse didn't even impact me. So I was like 10 or 11 years old, and my friends are starting to talk, and, you know, you're giggling about sex and trying to figure it all out.
Right.
And
going to the library at school, and that big, remember that big, did you guys have that big dictionary in the library?
Oh, we just
look up 30 words. Right.
We're girls. We just sit in the little corner and just.
So what happened? It slipped out of your mouth. You know.
Well, I couldn't figure out why they didn't know what the hell it was. I was like, dude, it's great. Like I was having orgasms at 5. And so I was like, y'all don't know what sex is? Like,
are you serious? Did they go home and tell their parents, hey, Jes says
that was when I discovered that it was bad. Like, I didn't have the concept that it was bad yet because no one had told me about sex. I was 19 when my mom had the first talk about sex. I had already been trafficked. Like, no one had told me anything about sexuality or sex. And so I had this loving rape experience, you know, for 2 years, move away, life goes on. Then all my friends are like talking about it. And I'm like, dude, it's easy. Like, I already was masturbating and knew all of that.
Hold on.
And so then all of a sudden, all the shame came in because now I knew it. I was wrong. I was the freak. I was the one. My friends don't know what sex is, but I do. I'm messed up.
So now the town, and how big is this town?
Well, the entire county was like 5,000 people. So it's really small. And so my friend, that was when I really, so my dad dies. And then I realized that I'm messed up. And so 12, 13 were crazy. That's when my mom got remarried. I started running away from home at 14. And I was just wild. I was just doing whatever.
Why'd you run away from home?
Because my stepdad was generally just awful. And he was so authoritative. And he was just telling me what to do and didn't understand me and didn't care to know me. And it wasn't safe there. It didn't feel safe. And so I just left.
So wait a minute. Let's talk about boys. So these girls, you know how kids talk. Because I'm just going to say, once you let that out of the bag, this was pretty much what they were saying behind their notebooks and stuff. This right here.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay. So did boys start going like, you know, I heard she gives it up.
Totally. And I was 12 when I did it for the first time on my own. Just because like I was sneaking out of the house, I was partying.
That a kid or was that a man that was older?
Yeah. Well, because everybody was older. Like that, I always hung around with an older crowd. Just because I felt like the world didn't get me in a lot of ways. Like, and when you're in a small town and we were kind of new there, like we were the new kids to the area or the new family in town, new kid. I didn't really know how to fit in. And so sex is a way to become accepted.
And how old are you at this point?
Oh, 12, 13.
12. So now some people are probably right now going, didn't she say that I was already being trafficked? So, and they,
well, that was by 19. Yeah.
Imagine the hand going over your mouth and somebody throwing you in a van at the mall. When you say that, paint that picture. Here's an easel.
Okay.
I'm throwing it up there. Here, boom, throw some paint up.
So life just kind of escalated because so my mom tried to get help for me, and I would make counselors just cry, therapists just cry. I was a mess. And so they just continued to say things like, there's some things you can't heal. There's some you just probably won't ever get better.
Wait,
I was too
do you
messed
believe
up.
that today?
No.
Okay.
No, hold on. We're going to get to that because look at me now.
Right.
But it's self-healing. It was self-led, self-taught. And that it's powerful. We'll get there. But so I felt like I couldn't get the help. I wasn't heard. No one understood me. And I kept running and running and running. And like, it was just rebellious teen years. I did all kinds of stupid stuff. Ended up going to Job Corps, which is Job Corps at the time was a alternative to jail time for nonviolent offenders.
Oh yeah.
Or your parents could give you over to the federal government. Like, so the federal government became like my custodial parent. And because my mom wouldn't emancipate me, and she always like had this control thing over me. And that pissed me off, right? Because I just wanted to live my life. And so I'm at Job Corps, and that was my move from a small town to a big city. So now I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm around people that I don't understand. Like, I was raised going, we don't see color. All people are the same. Like I didn't understand racism or anything yet. And so I'm in Job Corps, and there's gangs and all these different things that I'm a white girl cheerleader. And like, I'm good at algebra, shit like that. So I didn't understand what I was getting into. And now I'm living in this dorm, and I'm like, whoa, but I want to be liked.
Now you're how old now?
16, right after I turned 16.
Okay.
And ended up just getting in with some really rough crowds, ran away from Job Corps a number of times, ended up getting...
Nosy, I got a question.
Yeah.
So back when you started having sex, you weren't on any kind of birth control?
No.
Wow. You're lucky.
I did have a miscarriage when I was 13.
That's kind of what I was nosing around for.
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't want to you. But we're talking about the real, I mean, that's a big thing. You went through. So, okay. So
I had a miscarriage. It was Thanksgiving Day. I believe I was 13.
Girl.
I was 13 because I couldn't have been 12, and I definitely wasn't 14.
It's just because you look so girl next door right now.
Yeah.
That I'm just trying to keep people on track. And remember, you're not watching Netflix. This is just a real life conversation. So keep going, Jes. Keep going. Because we want to get to the book.
Right. Yeah, we're getting there's so much there. So I'm going to skip past the gangs because that was wild. But I ended up being raped into a gang. And that was really so I ran away from Job Corps. They ended up graduating me because that's what they do with white girls. They're like, oh, you're cute, you're beautiful, we can't handle you, and you're our responsibility. So congratulations, here's your certificate.
Because we don't want your parents shutting us down, right, or something. Right.
White girls have their own, we all have perks and drawbacks.
That's
the drawback.
That's that privilege. Hold Hold the finger up if you've.
But then they won't help you. And so they won't help you. You won't get the resources either. They graduate you and push you out,
Not a good thing.
What? Not in my scenario, right? Yeah, because I couldn't get help because they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful and so smart."
That's like school systems graduate kids that can't read.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So I mean that was just but it was a pattern all the way through my life where I just couldn't get help. I would be like, "Someone help me!" And they're like, "But you're so cute," and I'm like, "Cute doesn't help me be sane,
girl.
Like cute doesn't help me not want to kill people because of my life.
Okay,
like that. This doesn't help me like be okay." So I end up working in this restaurant in Portland, Oregon, and this man comes in, and he's like the most amazing person I'd ever seen. He's in his mid-40s. He's a black man, but he ran a shoe store up the street. He owned it. Stacey Adams loved it. He was suave and amazing, and he did something that no one else had ever done. He listened to me.
Oh,
he showed up. He cared. He was interested in me. And it was just like the most powerful thing in the world and he wasn't trying to be like sexual with me. He was just like, it seemingly cared fully about me. And then he helped me change my name. So I'm right at my 17th birthday now. And I ended up getting a fake birth certificate and taking my driver's test and getting a fake name. And I actually lived as Joanna for 4.5 years, Joanna Johnston. So I've never been 17, 18, 19, or 20.
Oh my God.
I have been 22 twice.
This. I was a drag queen on the streets of Phoenix, and that was my name, Joanna Johnston. I'm kidding. I know, but that would have been cool. That would have been cool. I'm kidding. Don't start a rumor. I've never been a drag. Well, on Halloween, I was one a couple times. But anyway, back to you. Joanna Johnston.
Joanna Johnston. Well, that was my real name. So I actually went by like Erica because that was my real name. So we'll get there.
Are you in the trafficking world now?
Hold on, not yet.
Okay.
So he changes my name and he's like, I'm suddenly 22. I'm free of my mom. I can do whatever I want. I'm like,
you're not really 22.
No, I'm 17, but my driver's license says I'm 22. Okay. And he says, if you're already having sex, why wouldn't you want to get paid? That's a legit question.
Light bulb. Okay.
Money is real. And you need money. And if you're already doing it, why wouldn't you want to get paid? And I think that's something.
The guy with the shoe store?
Mm-hmm. He was actually a very seasoned pimp.
There you go.
He ended up turning me out. I ended up being trafficked all over the West Coast, moving me city to city to city faster than my mom could find me, faster than the private investigators could find me. I was working the West Coast track in the mid-90s. Think old school pimp, red suits, the whole 9 yards. There's lots of different types of pimps. Okay. There's lots of different types of suits. Lots of different types of pimps.
Right. I'm for real, like Huggy Bear and all that kind of the stuff. Now you can go to the old school shows and be accurate. So were there other? What did you think was happening?
It was me and him against the world. So think about go to the mid-90s, West Coast. It's Tupac and Snoop Dogg and it's me and him against the world. I'm stacking cash. I'm making $1,000 a day.
Wow. Or you're making money that much for him. How much are you getting?
I'm making it for him.
Well, how much are you getting?
Nothing.
Oh.
But he's taking care of me. So my belief is that I can't handle money. Because that's how they brainwash you. It's brain fuckery. I don't know what else to call it.
I love that.
Because it's just like they twist your brain in ways, and then between the moving and like always in a new hotel, a new place, a new something, it keeps you just off kilter. And so between the moving and being off kilter and the working constantly, because I had to hit my quota every day. If you don't make $1,000, like it's not pretty. So like I'm working a ton.
You get
Pardon?
whooped or something? How were you punished?
But I was getting there. There was only one time that I didn't make my money. And this is the reason I speak.
Okay. Take your time.
I had recruited a girl because that's what you do. I was a bottom bitch, and I brought people in all the time. And she was about 14. We were in Hawaii, and I came home and it was sunrise. And he had me sit in the other room as I heard all of her bones crack. And then he got in my face, just covered in her blood, and told me it was all my fault. And I had done it. And I'll never forget her. And I don't know who she is, and I probably never will. Because she was a runaway, a homeless youth like we all were. And what got me with this was her quota was 600 and mine was 1,000 because I'm white. I don't even know, and still don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to label that type of racism or what that is. But we had experienced a lot of, we had our tires slashed, and I had assumed it was because of like having an interracial relationship. Mm-hmm. We've had our windows shot out and stuff like that in different hotels. Could have been the age gap, something like that. But that's how sometimes the scars aren't even on you. If he hit me, I couldn't make the money. Think about that.
Right.
How much money could I make with black eyes?
Right. And so the message had to be sent, but it got sent through her, through that. Oh my goodness. Wow. So you got a copy of your book there, right?
Yeah, I do.
Hold it up. Tell everybody about this book. And
Surviving.
I want you to find something. I want you to tell them about it. And then we're going to go to a 30-second break while you pull up something. Okay. I want you to just be led to something that you can read and just share from there, because I want everybody to get this book. Absolutely everybody. So tell us why, because today what you guys don't know is that Jes is living a spectacular life. She has 5 beautiful children, ages 11, 13, 14, 16, 21, 3 girls, 2 boys. And then we're going to talk about her family and this thing she calls unschooled. And but first, we want to talk about this book. How cathartic was
I'm going to shake that off real quick, because you know what? That's some heavy shit.
It is.
And it is some things, the only way you can describe them are fucked up.
Yeah.
And this is the reality of a lot of people's lives. My story is not even unique.
Right.
What's unique is that I'm talking about it. And we need every voice. We need all the voices, because together, all of our stories paint the bigger picture of humanity.
That's it. That's actually not okay. I guess it kind of is, but it wasn't intended that way. Shameless plug. But that's what I mean by the power of we. It's not just that day. It's not just that event. It's proof. I knew I could pull something together that gives proof that when we do this, that's why we have illuminated conversations once a week here. That's why we say, show me your soul and I'll show you mine. Because the soul is the keeper. It is the scribe of our stories. And so I'll keep going. Okay. All right. So the book. What's the name of it?
Surviving Trafficking and the Anti-Trafficking Movement. It's only available via my website, which we learned through your security, your excellent internet security. That I'm experiencing some kind of censorship, which happens. So I do have my SSL certificate. I have all of my stuff. I build on Kajabi, if you know the very popular company. But because of my content, some firewalls don't like me as much.
It would not even let me go on my computers. It would not let. It was like, nope. It flashed it up there like, look, it really is there, but you ain't going. You know, so, damn. You know, so I've still and I done pulled up some stuff on my phone. that they're all, you know, those things are always popping up there. Your phone is infected, so I ain't got no problem with it. I'm gonna pull you up on there. Right? Like y'all don't do it. So anyway,
problem solved.
Okay.
I'm just going to quickly run through because I end up getting away from him because I worked with a sex worker who helped me escape him, and we ended up building one of the largest escort services on the West Coast. So me and her. So she helped me escape. It was a sex worker who helped me get out. And ended up like just having the time of my life for 3 years in Seattle as a sex worker in the mid-90s. Like,
were you scared he was looking for you?
No, she hid me really well. And he had taught me how to evade people. So I am an excellent like skip tracer. I can find anyone anywhere and I can hide hella well if I need to.
Hella well. Okay.
And there's all kinds of awesome skills that I learned from being trafficked. And that's what people don't talk about is like all of our trauma gives us perks. And when you can come to the other side of the trauma, I have the best jokes, the best skills, the best things because I can joke about
in the stories.
Right.
I already was in here going, damn, I should have popped some Orville Redenbacher because this one, but I'm gonna eat this. Oh, Tracy, look, I got those oranges that you told me to get.
Oh, those are so yummy.
They're only so many months out of the year, she told me. You have them?
I don't.
What are they called again, Tracy? They're really kind of ugly, but I'm gonna have one for the first time. But go on, because I'm eating.
Okay, so I end up leaving the industry because I'm pregnant and have my first child.
Okay.
End up moving, getting out of everything with her. Like the moment I found out I was pregnant, I was done. And that was when my life started to really change. And
have you fallen in love?
Not yet.
Okay.
I end up meeting another man.
Okay.
Who says same things other dude did. You're beautiful, you're special, you can be anybody. And yet he meant it in an entirely different way.
Oh, and snap.
Yeah, right.
And you weren't, were you like at first?
It was different because your intuition gets when you're working the track and you have 15 seconds to decide whether or not someone's going to kill you, your intuition becomes very strong. And so people who have experienced traumatic things, learning to trust your gut is really, really powerful. So something was just different with him. We were best friends from the moment we met. We've been married almost 18 years. We're currently working some shiz out, but that's like real life.
That's real life.
Like that's like after 18 years, we also had some weird shit happen in our life. That's where the book comes in. Okay. So in 2009, I am a business owner. I'm running my first online fully business. Running my online business, and I'm a volunteer with Seroptimist, which is kind of like the Elks or the Lions, except it's for women.
And where are you in the world now?
Portland, Oregon, again.
Okay.
Back in Portland. Yeah. So I traveled a lot within the U.S. And I hear the word trafficking for the first time in this beautiful hotel. I'm at the Red Lion Hotel in Jansen Beach. I'm at this, it's all business women, CEOs. Is it good?
Mhm.
And they're like amazing, powerful women. And the luncheon speaker's talking about trafficking. And he's talking about trafficking in India, trying to relate it to what happens in the US. And I'm listening, and he puts up the definition of trafficking on the board. And as I'm eating my turkey croissant, I am like, I qualify on every single point. And I was trafficked in this hotel like 8 years prior. I like bit my tongue until it started bleeding. I was like losing my shit in my head, but I had to maintain my composure. And I end up going home, and my mom was my business partner. She lived with us, and talking to Reed. And I was like, we got to do something about this. My mom and I went and really timelined my life, because it was really, most people who have traumatic experiences, it's all jumbled. And because of different ages and living under that false identity, it was a mess. One of the best things I did was she like made me go in a room with her for 3 days, and we timelined my life and verified as much as we could, like where I was, postmarks, all the different things, so that I didn't sound crazy when I was doing interviews. So the first interview was an exclusive on the evening news, and I ended up getting like this micro fame, but it was so early in the movement, like no one really knew how to help, no one knew what was going on, and it was chaos. The reason why the book is called Surviving Trafficking, and there it is, and the Anti-Trafficking Movement, was because after 4 years in the movement,
Here it comes.
and like they're doing so much more harm than good. And
Tell
I was
them
like,
about that.
I had to leave. I had to divorce the entire thing. One of my best friends ended up committing suicide because of the spiritual abuse. And his story
within the anti-trafficking movement.
Yes. And his story, his name is Alexander. His story is in my book. And I have like a written explicit email from him saying, please share my story anywhere you go, that he sent 2 months before he killed himself. And so I was like, when I was writing this book, I was like, I felt him with me. I was like, buddy, this is it. Because men don't have, like I have, while I have stigma, while I have all this thing about being a whore or a sex worker, all these things that people put on you, which doesn't even bother me anymore. It's different for men. And when I saw what they did to him, because he was gay, and all he wanted to be gay was to be gay. But because it was a part of the anti-trafficking is so interwoven with the morals of like fundamentalist Christianity, that they literally told him that he could not do his street outreach. He could not continue to serve his people as long as he continued to be gay.
What the hell?
Yeah. This another reason I speak, because it
So
makes
wait a
me
minute.
so freaking mad.
So this anti-trafficking, are you saying, I'm just trying to get there. Are you
Okay.
saying a lot of anti-trafficking, not all, but maybe a great portion of anti-trafficking movements are organized religion-based?
The
Or what?
majority are, and the majority of them are religious somehow, but really we have to look at the entire system differently, because we have a problem where the sex industry is a huge freaking industry, right? So
Bigger
we're
than the
talking like
makeup
this.
industry.
Pardon?
It's bigger than the makeup industry.
Right. It's enormous. And so there's a lot of people in the industry that are there willingly and want to be there. And then there's people that have to be there in order to feed their kids. They're doing some kind of survival work. And then there's people who don't want to be there, can't be there, but like something, they're feeding an addiction, or there's something going on. And then there's people who are trafficked. And so what the anti-trafficking movement does is they lump all people into one category. If you're doing porn, you're being trafficked. If you're a sex worker, you're being trafficked. If you're doing this, you're being trafficked. And because you're trafficked, you don't know how to make good decisions. Therefore, we can take your rights away, put you in a locked facility, and then wonder why you're not happy. We can't rescue people. Rescuing is for animals. If you want to get better, you have to do it yourself. You have to be willing to heal. You cannot force someone to change. If someone wants to be a hoe, guess what they're going to be? A hoe.
A hoe. And that's why
okay.
a lot of them that get rescued run away and go back.
Why? Because you took their choices away. You're kidnapping people that don't want to be taken.
Wow. That's deep.
We have the nature of humanity wrong. Why? Because I have so much trauma that you can take my rights away? At what level of trauma does that mean that you can just say, I'm not a person and I don't know what's best for me?
Wow.
And then think about some of the famous sex workers that we have, like Stormy Daniels. A lot of things a lot of the organizations, like within the anti-trafficking movement, would define her because she's selling her body as trafficked. And that's just bullshit. And legally, within the US, if you are a minor, you are automatically considered trafficked. So let's just say you're a part of the LGBTQ community and you ran away from home because it's not safe. You're practicing survival sex out on the streets and you're trying to just survive because home isn't safe. You don't know where to go and you need a roof over your head. Now you can actually be arrested for that.
Girl.
You can be arrested for trafficking yourself.
So when we read the book, Jes, what are your hopes that people take from that experience of the book? And then if you could tell us where we can go get it, because we didn't turn that into a banner and we want them to know where to go. If anybody already has that up, Sherry, if you could pull up the link for
it's my name. It's 7 letters, JESRICH.com. But 1 S, just like yes.
Okay, 1 S. Alrighty. Oh, and one thing while she's pulling up something to read, you guys, if you want to donate anything to the swag bags, there's the address to mail it to. $16.95. And don't be showing up trying to spend a night without asking first. It happened. 1695 Smoky Court, Naperville, Illinois, 60563. Thank you. Jes, what you got?
I'm going to read you just this much.
Okay.
And it's the final conclusion of my book. I'll give you the final piece because it's the solution.
We're going to go 5 minutes over today, but it's worth it. Here, go ahead, Jes. All you.
Okay. Our systems are failing. Our schools look like prisons. Our prisons are slavery. And humans are being raped and killed by violent people with and without a badge. And very little is being done that actually solves the problems. Now is the time for change. We must seize this opportunity and rebuild our families and communities. Listen deeper, love more, kindness wins. Tell your stories because you are important.
Jes, I got to find a way to get you to Chicago for the Power of We. Because I wanted it to be the theme this year, keeping our kids safe. I even put it out there.
Yeah.
And I know, so, and that's another thing. We're going to have a show. I'm going to have you back so we can talk about feminine energy, which men possess. But then when I put out the first group of people that were it was all guys, right? Because I have a panel of women, but their thing is coming out next. And I had a bunch of people, January, you were one of them, who said, is that all? Is it a boys thing? What about the girls? And I'm like, well, damn, girl, you got half a sister here. You know, right. And they don't never give us no credit. I'm just saying. But anyway, that's another show. And we're going to get you back for that. But I want you guys, did we get the Jes Rich Yes, thank you, Sherry. Can always count on my girl. Thank you, Sherry, who will be at the Power we hope. JesRich.com. And we want to check out her storytelling for profit.
Yes.
Tell them where to go for that.
It's on my website. Also, you can actually just watch a free class. I teach people how to tell stories and stack cash, and specifically traumatic stories, because between writing the book, the stage work, and building the business, I made a million mistakes. It was not easy. And now I have a school to help people leverage their story to make money, because that's the ultimate justice, right?
There it is.
Success.
There it is. Right. And that's how it is. I tell you guys all the time, trauma does not travel alone. It's too big of a coward. So right there in the sidecar is your blessing. That is the future blessing, but it has been born into the process of becoming at the same time as that explosion known as trauma. Don't forget it. Sometimes you got to go back and move the rubble. And underneath it all is that treasure chest with all of your benefit all inside there. It's called your story. Every scar has a voice. Every scar has a story. And Jes Rich, you proved it yet again today. Thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. I feel like we barely scratched the surface. I want to talk to you. I'm gonna shoot you my Calendly.
Okay.
Let's get. Oh, you have it, don't you? I'm gonna get it to you.
Okay.
So we can talk. I really want to see what we need to do to get you to Chicago on April 28th. Give you, 30 minutes to get up there and just put the real shit right out there in front of everybody.
I love teens. They're my favorite because it's so real.
It is. Let's talk about that and see what we can do, okay?
Okay.
All right. And listen, you guys, tomorrow I have author and nonprofit CEO, I guess you would call her now, here tomorrow. Jeanette Ramos is in the house telling us about her new nonprofit designed to help single women who are transitioning from some life they didn't want for them and their children to the life that they dream for them and their children. And she's got a brand new idea, and it's moving fast. It's called It Takes a Village. That story and more tomorrow. Thank you all. And Jes, thank you so much. You guys grab the book. And I'm going to try to grab Jes and get her to Chicago, April 28th, even if we have to bring you in on the screen. Yeah. To talk. We got to, this story has to be told. So I thank you. I honor you. Thank you, January, for getting my head right when it comes to this lady here. And thank you all for entrusting us with a piece of your day. We really do. Sincerely, thank you for that honor. So join us tomorrow, God willing. I'll be out front at 8 a.m. on the front porch waiting for you as we walk into another illuminated conversation right here on Bathrobe Moments. Have a blessed day and be the blessing. Thank you so much. Bye all.
Show me your soul.